This is the plaintiff, Derek Robinson. He says the defendant was his good friend, but the guy now owes him money for some coats he lent him that he can't get back from the guy. These are very expensive jackets that cost him $1,000, and that's exactly what he's suing for today. This is the defendant, Ray Gauss. He says he has no idea what this guy's talking about because he doesn't have his jackets, and if anyone's owed money today, it certainly isn't the plaintiff. He's accused of a coat caper. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $480 for unpaid rent.
All parties, please raise your right hands. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Money-Outside presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Mr. Robinson, you used to live in a home with Mr. Gauss, correct, Mr. Robinson?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did you live there?
Approximately about 18 months.
Okay, and what happened?
What happened was, with the living situation, I was working at the time. I'm working now, but at the time that I was working, I was definitely contributing to the household, and I would work 12-hour shifts. I would get off of work, and I would come back, and it'd still be a party going on. I would try to go to sleep. It would still be yelling, screaming, fighting, arguing, good times, bad times, yet I'm trying to sleep after working 12-hour shifts.
How much were you paying in rent?
The deal and the agreement was wherever I can help, that's where I would help. RG&E, which is gas and electric, I definitely paid gas and electric bills in full. I definitely contributed to food in the household. There have been meals that I specifically, because Ray's a good cook, I'll give that to him. And there have definitely been times where I say, I have a taste for this. And he'll say, you go get the food, I'll cook it. And no doubt he would cook it. And when I get out of work, guess what? No food. No food for me, no food for my children.
Okay, but hold on.
I just got fed up with it.
Were you paying rent or you weren't paying rent?
I was paying gas and electric.
That's it?
Yeah, but to be a 4-bedroom house with company in and out all the time, yes. $300, $400 a month.
So how much?
Gas and electric.
That's what I was going to ask. So $300 or $400 a month of gas and electric. All right. So now,
correct.
You decided after 18 months that you were going to move out. When you moved out, you didn't tell the defendant anything. You just moved. Correct?
Not correct. Him and I, we had skirmishes. We had arguments. We had decisions being made between him and I where I'm like, I can't deal with this. It wasn't a sudden thing. It wasn't a microwavable thing. It was something that took time to build. There were straws being built because I'm like, if I'm buying food for my children and I come back and the food's gone, I can't help it that it's gone. That was always his answer. And this happened continuously, consecutively. This happened all the time. And I'm like, Ray, I can't deal with this. Goodbye. You can always
what
leave.
Happened all the time? That Ray was eating your food, or that other people were eating your food?
No, other people were. This was not a doing of Ray. Ray has a good heart. He does, and Ray does not know when to say no to other people. So other people would come in, and they would literally just open up the refrigerator and do as they please. Okay. I can quote him when he would say, I can't stop them.
Take it down a notch. I know you're excited, but take it down a notch because you're kind of yelling, and I'm trying to understand how you left. I've read the text, and it sounds like you left in the middle of the night without telling him. Like, it's not like you said, hey, my last day is 30 days from now or anything like that. You just left in the middle of the night without telling him. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now you are suing because, according to you, when you left 2 jackets at the house. They're jackets. Why didn't you take them with you? It's not like they weigh a lot or anything. Why didn't you take them?
I didn't take them because I didn't want my jackets to be torn. I didn't want them to, because when I moved in a pickup truck. I didn't have a U-Haul, and the Miami Dolphins jacket, that was brand spanking new. I didn't want it to get torn. I didn't want it to get ripped. And the other jacket is suede. I didn't want that to get damaged neither. I packed that truck.
Why didn't you just put them on your lap? You don't have to put them in the bed of the truck. You could put them on your lap and they wouldn't get damaged.
I understand your sentiments.
Did you forget
but at that
them?
time,
Nope, you deliberately left them there instead of just putting them on your lap. Got it. Mr. Gauze, tell me what happened between you two.
Well, part of what he's saying is true. I do have a big family. They come in and out, and I try to preach to all of them. Before you go in and put your hands on anything, ask, because it may not belong to me. So I may be at work, and sometimes I'd come in, and this is gone. I hear it. I'm at work. I get a phone call. Yo, did you tell so-and-so? Can you talk to so-and-so? But I'm at work. So, I'm not here when everything transpires.
Okay. Did he leave some jackets at the house?
Actually, I have no idea. I didn't know he left until I came in from work. I actually came in to blow the driveway. So I came in, I cut the light on at the top of the stairs. The light didn't come on, and I turned and I looked at the stove. The stove was off. And I said, wow, the RG&E is off, and he's gone. And it's dark, so I'm ticked. I go back, sit in the truck with my cousin. As I'm explaining it to him, Dirk walks up the driveway. And I'm ticked, and I told him, anything in that house, you would not set foot back in that house. I don't give a damn what you have left. But at that point in time, I didn't see the jackets. I didn't realize that he had left already. But like you said,
okay,
I'm not the only one.
My question to you is, have you since seen the jackets? Do you have any idea where the jackets are?
No, I don't. Like I said, I wasn't the only one that had access to the house. There were 4 of us living here. So, I'm at work during the day. So I don't know what transpires when I'm not here.
When you make a statement like, I told him anything else you left in there you're not getting, that's a little concerning to me in a case where he is suing you for keeping 2 things.
It is, but at that point in time, I wasn't thinking. I didn't know what was in the house because it was dark. I only walked in the house a hot 30 seconds and turned around and came back out.
You have a counterclaim against him for $480, Mr. Gauze, for back rent for September and October and part of November. When did he move out?
This had to be...
Is your testimony that he's supposed to pay $200 a month?
$200 a month, and that will go towards RG&E and the cable bill. And everybody purchased their own food, their own personal hygiene, their own laundry detergent. And
so was he always supposed to pay $200, or was he just supposed to pay the electric bill?
He was supposed to pay $200, but what had happened was the RG&E had got turned off, and it was put in his name.
How much was he paying a month? Was it different every month?
No, it wasn't different every month. Originally, it was $200, but when he put the RG&E in his name, that's when I wasn't charging him the $200 for rent.
And then he just started paying it directly.
Right.
That's not a good way to do this.
It's not, but...
It's not a good way to do this. Mr. Robinson, did you ever you never contacted the police to say, he's got my jackets, I need an escort to go in there and get them, or anything like that, did you?
No, I did not, because I was assuming that after, cooler heads prevail. So I was assuming that after he had time to cool down, that he would say, you know what? Because I even asked him, I've asked his family members, where I said, can he just leave them on the porch? And he doesn't have to see me, I don't have to see him. I can just come and pick them up.
I'll tell you why.
porch.
In case you don't understand why, you're awfully angry for a guy who did him dirty. You left in the middle of the night and you canceled the lights, so now he has no electricity and no notice that you're doing it. I understand why you canceled the lights, because they were in your name. But that's all the more reason to give somebody some warning about what you're doing, especially in a situation where you have housing, for $200 a month. It doesn't make any sense. You're super angry, and I'm kind of not getting why. When you're talking about what a great heart he has, then why would you do him like that? Why wouldn't you just say to him, listen, next month is my last month. This isn't working for me. People steal my food, and I don't like the party. Whatever. But why did you have to leave the way you left? Explain to me how it is that you want the cost of 2 jackets and then the replacement cost also of 2 jackets, as though you should be paid for 4 jackets. In what planet would that make any sense? That's one. And 2, I need to understand, because I see the proof you brought that one of the jackets is worth $95, why you're suing them for $250 for that jacket.
What I showed you was someone attempting to sell the jacket that, I'm not saying that particular jacket is mine, but if someone's selling it used for $95 and I contacted
I know.
and they no longer make that jacket anymore. So I couldn't come
I
up
don't
with,
see any proof of the value of the Miami Dolphins jacket.
When I contacted NFLshop.com, I contacted them. I asked them, can they email me the receipt for my jacket? I've never received the email, and I've never received the receipt from NFLshop.com.
Okay.
Never.
Yeah, we're in trial right now. Now's when the trial. So what happens when someone doesn't bring proof to court on the value of something is that you're stuck with whatever I say the value is. Let me ask you a question on your counterclaim. According to you, he owes back rent, but Mr. Gauze, you've already explained to me that he was paying the electric bill. When did you leave? November what, Mr. Robinson?
Yes, ma'am. I left there, we can say November the 10th. Around that.
Okay.
November the 10th.
Are you suggesting that the electric bill wasn't paid for September and October, Mr. Gauze?
Yes.
Did you pay the electric bill for September and October, Mr. Robinson?
Oh no, yes, he paid. He did pay that.
Okay.
He did pay that.
All right.
But
well, then why would he owe you back rent if he paid that?
Because it was still off. I had to go 2 weeks without electricity before I could get someone out and get assistance to get it turned back on.
Why? All you have to do is place a phone call to get it turned back on, and you probably had to put a deposit or something, but so what?
Right.
You didn't need 2 weeks.
Down.
That's silly. None of that makes sense.
No.
You're not owed any rent. And I got to tell you, when you make the statement that you saw him out there and you said, whatever you've left here, you're not getting back, and then that's precisely what ends up happening. But Mr. Robinson, you are really unimpressive when you deliberately leave 2 jackets behind in a place where you know that someone's going to be terribly hurt that you're doing it the way you're doing it, like leaving him without electricity. All right? So what you're going to get is a depreciated value, and you're not going to get it 4 times. You're going to get the depreciated value of the jackets that I do believe are over there. I am ordering the defendant to pay you $200. That's my verdict.
Thank you.
Well, it's obvious the plaintiff was not too happy with that verdict. He's going to get $200 now from Mr. Gross. Mr. Gross, you didn't get anything on your countersuit, $480, but you got to give Mr. Robinson $200. How you feel about that?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. You don't know where the jackets are. They're not there. You have any idea who took them or where they went?
No, and I wouldn't understand why he would leave them. If you're going to do a person dirty like that, make sure you take all your belongings.
Yeah, well, that's good advice. Good advice. All right, sir, that's the judge's verdict. Mr. Robinson, you're only going to get $200, and the judge still can't understand why you didn't take those coats with you, you know? I know you're not happy, are you?
Listen, what it is hindsight is 20/20. I didn't take my jackets because I just didn't want to damage them. I was thinking, like, get my stuff and go. I just wanted to get my stuff and go. You know what? $200 is better than nothing, because I already know. I've seen the coat on sale online. Somebody by the name of John Doe is selling the same coat, same size in our area that we live in. So, come on. But I appreciate it, and I understand the logic of the judge, and I'm appreciated.
All right, good enough. All right, that'll wrap it up for this case. Let's see what the judges have to say now.
Typically, when you file a lawsuit because you've lost something, it's been damaged or disappeared in the care of someone else who's obligated to take care of it, you don't get the full value of the item.
No, it's a used item. You get the value of the item at the time of the loss.
Right.
Which is
it's a shame. You got to take
jacket.
your lumps, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
You get the used item or you get the depreciated value, which is exactly what you found here. Interesting relationship between these guys. And in that household, it sounded so unstructured. And as a judge, when things go wrong from an unstructured environment, it's like the difference between if you have a fight and there's two guys, and everybody's watching, and they're going by the Marquis of Queensberry rules. You know, you could see who strikes a blow, who falls down, everything else. If it's a free-for-all, and there's chairs flying, and everybody's every place, and you don't know what, you can't reconstruct, you can't score the fight, you don't know what the hell's going on.
And
you're
makes
the judge
it a lot
afterwards,
messier.
and that's what that
So
house
his
was
rent
like.
was
It
different every day.
Right.
Every month, his rent would be different. It would be
Right.
whatever the electric was.
Yeah, so his rent was high in the wintertime and maybe low in the summer. Who knows?
Right. It's a terrible way to do it.
Gloria wants to know this. Hey, Harvey, my father-in-law caught COVID from a worker who came to work infected. What can we do? She shouldn't have come to work. Well, here's the thing. This really has been untested in a lot of courts. But based on what I've seen in the law over time, I think if somebody knows they have COVID and then doesn't take precautions and gets next to somebody, exposes them to the virus, and that person gets it, and they're irresponsible and they're not following guidelines, that, my friend, I think is negligence, and I think you well might have a case.